All right, part two, we're in. You're talking to me about Big Jord. I got myself a cup of tea, like a good Englishman, and I'm
Very
ready for a
nice.
bedtime story.
Bedtime story. Hopefully this one juices you up, but fair enough.
All right.
Um, yeah, so yeah, the concept, I think we were talking about the concept of like understanding progress, right? So for Big George, he went from that 87 kilo lift, that was a bit of a grinder, all the way up to that kind of 95, and he made it move this week, and it was super cool. Just seeing his understanding of wow, that actually felt easy versus versus what was in previous weeks or other times. I told him, hey mate, it's 95 kilos. We need to make sure big chest, big knuckles, make sure we hold our breath. Let's give it a go, right? And he moved it and he felt awesome. The concept for some of the other guys is not the same. The the pickup of hey, we're adding an extra 5 kilos, you have to put some extra oomph into it. Not quite there, right? The understanding of going for a PB, got to be super strong. Yeah, kind of. But it doesn't really register the same, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a few years ago, I think it was 2020, had our other coach Sam. He was with us and we were having a chat, and we're like, it'd be really cool is having like an awards night, and having an awards night that was tailored around all the guys having something to aim for, because not all of our guys do powerlifting, right? Like little Talitha, she does walking, she does, we do hip raises, we do like a bike, we do carrying a ball, we do like stepping things to try and get her as coordinated as possible and safe moving by herself, right? So we want her to be comfortable in her own body, looking after herself. And then you get the other end of the spectrum where Geordie's deadlifting 175 and benching 100 kilos. But we wanted for the guys that aren't doing the powerlifting for them to still have something to aim at, because when you're doing powerlifting, you go, right, I've got 12 weeks, 7 weeks, 4 weeks until I hit the platform. Talitha doesn't have anything like that to aim for, right? We try and make goals if we want to try and do this. And when we're inside the gym, it might be we want to walk a whole lap without us touching anything. Or now she walks laps of the shopping center with us, right? Every once in a while, she'll hold onto my hand and, we'll walk along a little bit, and then she'll be able to take it off by herself, and she'll go another, 50, 100 meters and then back onto me. And slowly but surely, hopefully, eventually we'll get a whole lap her without touching me. We call it the Talitha Marathon, right? And on the day when she does those things, myself, the support worker, mum will hear about it, right? But the crowd is small.
Mm-hmm.
Her concept of achieving that is kind of big, right? Because she knows to a point. But there's no like at the competitions, right? So our one we had last year in the middle of Queen Street Mall, we had hundreds of people watching. There were hundreds of people in amongst all the crowd. We had the stage in the middle of Queen Street Mall, so like the middle of Brisbane here, and they're all deadlifting and they're benching, and we've got Disney music pumping, and all the guys are lifting, and every time they lock out a lift, the crowd's fucking woo, and they're loving it, right? And they're all G'd up, and at the end of it, every participant gets a medal. You got here, you lifted, you did really, really good. Well done. You concentrated, and we did all the things we practiced inside the gym, and you did them here, and now you're building up more, right? What they don't understand is we're going, all right, if we can aim for these weights, now their body is stronger, they're more functional, they're able to do more things by themselves, right? And powerlifting is really good because it just like CrossFit, just like strongman, a lot of that stuff translates to other sports, right? If you want to get better at a tennis serve, right, you can do a bajillion tennis serves, but your tennis serve is probably not going to make you good at your tennis serve is probably not going to make you good at ice hockey, right? Or at maybe better at cricket because of an overhead, but there's a different skill involved, right?
Yep.
If you get a better bench, your bench is going to help you swim. It'll help you serve in tennis. It'll help you push things. It will help you in rugby league. It will help you, right? It transcends other sports because the movement is about muscular adaptation and not about skill acquisition. But the skill acquisition can go up if you have more exertion of power, right? So powerlifting is very, very good for that. So is CrossFit. So is strongman.
Mm-hmm.
Which is all fantastic. But at the competition, we give them all a medal. You've done really well. Good stuff. We give the guys that have, lifted the best at a power to weight ratio, hey, first, second, third place for lightweight and open lifters. Awesome. They all get that. Talitha on the other side and all the other guys who don't do powerlifting, they don't get that. They don't get that huge crowd, the big, like, well done, everyone together. Woo, you've done awesome. Because at the comp, you have 20 lifters all together. They all know each other through us, and it's fantastic. Talitha doesn't get that. So coming back around, Sam and I thought, why don't we have an awards night? We bring everyone together, and we called it the Flying Kiwi Formal. And we brought everyone together. We had 40 athletes, I think, maybe 43 in total. So that was all of our guys, plus a bunch of our previous guys. We invited them all, said everyone can bring along 2 friends. And, we paid for all of our guys, and everyone else just had to buy a ticket. And they all came together, and we gave every single one of them an award. They each got their own time to come up onto the stage. We called their name. They come up on the stage. Everyone is suit and tie. It's red carpet attire every time. They come up on the stage. They get their medal. They turn. They face a camera. Camera's flashing. There's a videographer moving past. There's 140 people, I think, in the crowd the first year, right? And so they're all up there, and they're on the stage, and the whole room gives them an applause. The whole room is behind that one athlete. They get their medal from us, the gym people. They get their medal, and they get their big applause, and they're woo. We are conditioning them to understand that progress inside the gym is something to be celebrated, because all the powerlifting guys get that. All the other guys that are doing it just to live their life, they don't. So all of our guys that come to Strong Hearts, that's our group fitness program. So we run a program of kind of like group sport and recreation, and it's all our disability guys all come along. They all join in, and we all play game. We play touch footy and Red Rover and Duck Duck Goose and whatever. As long as they got a big smile on their face and they're getting more steps in their day, we win. That's the whole goal. And they do it as a big team. All those guys, they're not like, you don't win a medal for winning that round of Red Rover, right? For dodging everyone. So we wanted to make sure that there was that thing to go to. And now we've got the formal. So like last year, we had like 200 people, right? So we grew a little bit. We had like 60 something athletes all came along. It was fantastic. We had 200 people there. We had like magicians, right? Came along and they're doing tricks, and the guys are all like, wow. But they all get up on the stage at the end. Like they all get up on the stage and they get their medal. They get their photo. They get their woo. And that positive connotation. Exercise equals happy, right? I keep doing it. I'm going to keep getting rewarded. My peers see me. My parents see me. My friends see me. All these people are acknowledging when I go to gym, I work hard, and therefore I get rewarded, right? That's what we're trying to instill in all the guys. And having that goal, like bringing it back around, that goal far away of, I want the recognition, is that petrol to keep them going. It's not, we can't give them, hey, like, you've lost 3 kilos, well done. They'll be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because their concept of that is very disjointed. Yeah, hey, you benched more. A lot of the guys don't understand. Like, some of the guys that do the powerlifting with us, they don't get the difference between a 32 kilo and a 40 kilo, bench press, right? In our eyes, they've increased their lift by 20%. Stoked. In their eyes, man, they're like, oh, the bar just still felt heavy. Like, a 1RM feels just as heavy if your 1RM is 30 kilos versus 50 kilos, right?
Sounds like
so
me, dude.
Yeah. So they don't care. They don't care. So we have to make it an external thing that they aim at. And it's given huge results for the guys. So, we're really, really excited to just celebrate it with them. And I say it again, man, like, I got the best job in the fucking world, man, because now we're standing up on a stage and we're giving these awards, and we're watching them all, big smiles on their faces. There's like this one little clip of Ebony, one of our young girls that she does powerlifting with us. She comes to Strong Hearts, and she used to do PT with us and stuff, so she comes along to the competitions as well. And there's this one video of her, and we had her at a powerlifting meet up the Sunshine Coast, and it was like a proper meet. It was like, you got to wear a soft suit, right? We're in for like early morning weigh-ins, all that sort of stuff. So we got in, we did this proper meet. We had 17 athletes, I think, there that day. And it came all the way around, and everyone gets put into a weight category for it, right? Special Olympic lifting is another thing. It's really, really hard to do the conceptualization of it for Special Olympics. But as most people understand, you got weight categories. It's like, the 80 kilo, the 72 kilo, the blah, 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 blah. And Ebony was doing, I can't remember if she was doing bench and deadlifts or if she was just doing a deadlift. I think she was just doing a deadlift, actually. So she got in, did deadlift only. Bang. So she was the only female doing the deadlift only in that particular weight category. It wasn't taken away from her lifting, but just on the day, there weren't any other competitors doing the same as that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We knew she worked hard and she had been practicing her deadlift and everything like that. And on the day, she did her deadlift. She did super well. She got thumbs up from the referees, full white lights, did the whole fucking thing properly. It came around to the medal presentation. And she obviously won. She won her category. Good fucking on her. She fucking killed it. We were so proud of her. But I don't think she had really won something to that scale before. And so they went, Ebony Stafford. And I was standing up there. And Ebony lost it. Ebony winds up. Here's her name. Winds up. Kicks off both of her jandals. So bang, bang, they go flying off. And so you watch the clip and these shoes go flying and she charges up, standing on the spot, like Sonic the Hedgehog would, right? And then just runs up and just boom, spare tackles me with a big hug. We put the medal on it and she's standing up the first place podium. She's up on the top and she's just fucking arms up. She's just staring out. She's pointing at her mom and she's like, what? And she was the fucking champion of that day. It was fucking phenomenal. And every time I see that, it comes up once a year on my Facebook. I'm like, yes, it's just the best, man. You can't replace that shit, dude. You can't replace that. It is just another level of work, man. It's another level of just achievement. And seeing the guys do that over and over again, bro, it's the best environment to be in. So, we get them all together for that big form when they all come together. I think this year we have, I think our current clientele, we maybe look after on a per week basis, it probably averages at 70 to 75. And we have about 90 currently attend programs. So be it fortnightly or whatever, right, with us. So if it's 1:2, then, we're looking at maybe 250 to 300 people at the formal. Man, if that's the case, all I can think about is how big the crowd is to give the guys an applause. Because last year, Ebony at the formal got so G'd up again. She did the same thing, except this time she spare tackle cuddled me and took her legs off the floor. So she just went, bang, I'm up on the stage. There's 200 people in the crowd. And I'm just going, whoa, picked her up. And she's like, just losing it. Give her medal. She's up on the stage. I've got my arm around her. You got the team of 6 guys. They're all there. We're all up on the stage to get the photo with her. And she just arms in the air. Just, whoa. She fucking won. She fucking won. There was no lifting that day. Did she do her gym? Did she come to Strong Hearts? Did she try her best when she was playing Red Rover? Did she do her best when she was doing Duck Duck? Did she help her friends putting away some of the equipment, right? Did she share the ball, right? All those things all get kind of pushed to this one thing of now we've got this pinnacle moment of you have done well. You keep going, we get to do it again next year, right? That's that motivation. None of this fucking, if I lose 10 kilos, cool. No, now it's if I work real hard, I get to celebrate with all of my friends and people recognize I've been working hard. They might not understand it, but they know what the formal means and they know what it feels like, right? We can keep doing that. We can use that as a weapon in the gym. Hey, come on. We've got to work hard. We get our medal at the formal. We've got to make sure that we're working hard in the gym today so we can have it. They usually go, oh, yeah, totally got to, right? And it works, man. Giving them that external thing to just do the set, making it big, man, because some of them can't conceptualize the other shit. They can conceptualize getting a big applause from a huge crowd of people. They love it, man. And it's the best fucking event ever. I lose so much money running it. I don't even care. It's the fucking best, dude. It's so good. It's just, man, it's just another level of just helping the guys out. And we can never get another. We have 3 magicians this year because
Fuck.
two wasn't enough to make it to all the tables last year. Because they do like close up magic and they do like juggling and stuff. They tried going around all of them, and they're fantastic. They're phenomenal performers. But there were so many tables that in the time frames we had allotted, they couldn't get to them all. So this year we have more tables, and therefore we're getting a third magician. So yeah, dude, I can't wait, man. If you're over here, bro, come along. Like
Where,
it's
where, whereabouts in Oz?
it'll be in Brisbane at the end of November, November 26th.
Oh, I
You're
fly
welcome.
out to I fly out to home on the 29th.
Oh, wow, stop off in Brizzy then. It's on the way, bro. If you're flying back to Heathrow, that's on the way.
Yeah, I mean it is technically on the way. Yeah, mate,
Well, there you go.
I'd love to be
You're
there.
welcome.
I'll be the guy just ugly crying, just kind of flipping tables because he's so excited, and everyone's like, "What is that accent? Is it French? Is it German?" And be
Is it
like,
French?
"Oh no, people have no idea where I'm
People pick
from."
it up on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
so you work for FAM over in New Zealand, right?
yeah, man.
So I briefly scrolling through your podcast episodes because I wasn't sure how much time to allot for myself. I saw you had an hour and a half episode. I can't remember his name that runs
Mike.
FAM Mike. That'd be why I can't remember it. Same name. But we follow each other on Instagram.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And dude, I saw that and I was like, hang on a second. So if I remember correctly, they look after like a whole bunch of people, right? Like what, because we do, we run like our, group health and wellness kind of program, obviously. You guys essentially do the same thing over there, right?
Yeah, brother. So
Yeah.
like we said at the beginning, it's kind of like open door policy. We
Mm-hmm.
we coach anyone and everyone. We've got an athlete who's 5 years old, and we got an athlete who's 72, and we got
Yes.
420 athletes we see each week.
That's
Yeah, it's
so
cool, man.
cool.
It's across. Now we're trying to branch out into the North and the South Island.
Okay.
Hence why myself and Coach Eve has been brought on board. We're down in Christchurch, so it's kind of like, all right, let's beat this drum down here. Let's shake some hands, kiss some babies, make some deals, and be like, hey, this is the largest city in the South Island. Granted,
Mm-hmm.
there's like three sheep here, but some people might need helping. We're on a flat city, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's quite accessible. There
Yeah.
is a big disability community within Christchurch as it is. It's just fringed. So it's like, hey,
Yeah.
if we just build it and nobody
They
comes,
will come.
at least it's there, right? But most of the
Yeah.
time, you build it, they'll come. And again, a big thing for me is equal opportunity. You
Mm.
know, that's why I love the differently able sector, right? I just love
Mm.
it. Like, just put me in there. Let's figure it out. Let's get you to that water. I'm gonna take that horse to water. That horse is gonna drink, or it isn't. But it's that
Mm-hmm.
horse's decision. It's my responsibility to take it to the water. And
Mm.
it started from back home of like, how do I coach kids in poverty? How do I help kids in poverty? How do I instill a mindset in them to no longer carry around machetes in their pants at 13 and try and rob a newsagents? How am I able to help these people when they're either orphans, they're already in a gang, they're doing whatever, right? And then I go down
Mm.
to the south, and then you see more people, and okay, cool. How am I supposed to help this person? And then when people leave their home country and English isn't that great, and they come to the UK, and I'm like, great. Now, how am I going to help this person? I'm like, cool. Now I have to rely on different forms of communication, but in a longer format. All right. Now it's come to this, and it's like, okay, great. Now how do I help these people? I was like, well, I guess it needs to be there, right? We need to build it first for
Needs
them
to
to be able
exist
to
first. Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, we're gonna build it in the South Island here in Christchurch. We're gonna kick it off next week. Um,
Wow.
yeah, man. Like, and it's just like, guys, this is what we do. Passion is free. Like, get us out on that dance floor. This is how we like to pay our rent. We've done all these meetings and met a load of people and kind of done the whole sales pitch, quote unquote. And it's like,
Mm.
great, let us do our job now. We're coaches. Let
Yeah.
let us get out on that floor. Let us figure it out. Let us meet people. You know, whether we're introverted or extroverted, a coach is a people person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and let me just go meet these people. Let me see if I can help them. And I went into HOHEPA the other week, and it's an organization where adults living with disabilities can check in, right? And they all live in kind of a big area. And we walked through, and there was this lad Dennis, and he was kind of non-verbal, but he knew sign. And one of the OTs working there, she was like, "Oh, he's really interested to jump in some of your classes. You'll have to learn sign language." And it was so cool because I turned around in sign and told her I know a little sign language, and she's just like, "Oh shit!"
Hey.
And just like,
Oh, that would have been wholesome as
yeah,
shit.
man. It
Oh,
yeah, man. She tells Dennis, and I he kind of like lights up, and I go over and I say, "Hey boss, how are you?" You know, in sign language. And his version of autism, he repeats it back to you and then says his answer. So it was cool
yeah.
because I'm a visual learner as well, and I need to repeat it. I've had a lot of concussions, so I'm not the brightest of individuals. But anyway, so it
You
was like,
are an
okay,
English lad.
yeah, I mean, yeah, come on, we don't go to school, we do other activities, but that is the past. But yeah, it was so cool because we just had a brief conversation. You were like, see, this is why we do what we do. This is why we
Mm,
added that extra string to our bow, just in case, just in case one person comes through that door and was like, hey, I have this. Hey, I'm pregnant. Can I still work out? Yep, no
mm,
worries. I understand. I
awesome.
learned a little bit about that. Hey, I'm visually impaired. Can I work?
Mm,
Yep, no problem. I know a little bit about, you know what I mean? Like it started
yep.
off back in the day, like I was living in a shed, living in cars. Like it started off me learning all this gave me a greater potential to earn money so I could eat that night. That's why it
Mm,
started. Now it's like, okay, if someone walks through that door and I don't know how to help them, I don't want to have to turn them away.
yep.
So I'm like,
I
great, let's
love that.
let's figure this out. Let's build some sort of knowledge for myself and then surround myself with people with different niches, and then
Mm,
just be like open, communicate. Well, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? Oh, what are you thinking about that? Give me some feedback. What was great? What was shy? Like, how do we get better?
mm.
You know? So yeah, man, we see a lot of people. It was so cool. We went up to Auckland the other week and kind of dived head first in, which was so sick.
Because they're the main hub is based in Auckland, yeah?
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yep.
there's like,
Yep.
I think it's what 1.7 mil in Auckland, and there's like 5 million people in the country, so it's
Yeah.
pretty much like half the population in one city.
Yeah, I mean FAM is based in Auckland, yeah.
Yeah, HQ.
I'm a New
Yeah,
Zealander. I grew up in Wellington, so
yeah,
I get where you're talking about. Yeah, so FAM is based mostly in Auckland.
yeah. That's the HQ.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, sweet.
yeah, man.
That's so in terms of like in terms of like a class standpoint, is it in the weight section? Is it in like a free weight area? Is it in like a machine weight area? Is it like just a open gym floor? Is it in a community center? I see so many different versions of this. Like like what is the format? I guess everyone comes in, the hour starts, the 2 hour starts. Like how does it function?
Yeah, man. So we work within the community, as we like to put it, and we like to keep it. We don't have our own facility, so
Okay.
we'll then rent space, right? Which is
Yep.
which is what happens. Usually, it's in CrossFit gyms. So we have that type of
Oh.
format. Everything is functional. Everything is postural. There's less machines apart from it's a rowing machine, a bike, a ski erg, or something
Mhm.
like that. But yeah, man, mainly it's in that functional quote unquote space, a CrossFit box, as everyone would kind of know it as. And we work out of there. We work out of some universities like AUT up on the shore, and is it Mount Albert? I don't know, somewhere in Auckland. They got
Sure.
a couple of different campuses and that. Yeah, we just kind of dot around, wherever we got a little space. We've had um kind of like an old auditorium with barely any equipment, and it's like, cool, we're going to go in, let's figure this out, let's help some people. And then we've also had a really kitted out CrossFit gym, swanky fanky, all the brand new spec. And you're like, great,
Yeah.
again, let's figure this out.
That's so cool. Holy shit. And it goes for an hour or
Yeah, so the classes are an
yeah.
hour. Obviously we do the whole PTs, trios, where it's like 3-on-1 and stuff
Oh,
like
okay.
that, where
Yes,
we can
you
do,
guys do coaching too. Okay, cool.
yeah, we can do like half hour, 45, an hour. But as you're gonna know, right? And as I would like to think other coaches listening to this would know, is like if we set off and it's like, okay, we're gonna do an hour, right? And today's not that day.
Yeah,
You don't
totally.
have to die on that hill.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
like,
man.
no, you can talk for 15 minutes, you can come in and just kind of
Dude.
like play rock paper scissors, it's the same with friggin' able-bodied athletes. And this is what gets my bloody knickers in a twist, is you talk to a lot of coaches and, oh, I don't know how to do that. And I was like, first of all, I think if you can coach kids, you can coach anybody,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
I would
Oh
branch that
yeah.
off. And if you can coach people living with a disability, then you can definitely coach anybody,
Yep.
right? But if you've coached so many different demographics of people across, like, just you name the differences, like we like to slap on each other and the labels and the boxes and what all that, you name them all, you've coached them all, or a vast majority of them, you actually realize it's rather the same. It's so similar. Be
Oh
personable.
yeah.
Make sure they're having fun. Over time, we want them to progress. All right, come in, move a chess piece forward one square. It ain't fucking checkers. Right, we're not jumping to the other side of the board. It's just, hey, let's just knock it forward one time. Yeah, like I coached a class
Ooh.
yesterday, and we are doing a little bit of weightlifting at the start, and there's a bit of a burner at the end, right, just across the class. People come in dragging ass. And I was like, all right, guys, you're not going to go heavy today. And it's like, oh, what do you mean? I was like, just read yourself, man.
Mm.
It's fine. You've come in, you're gonna get a sweat on. And the vibe of that they walked out with wasn't, I've been punched in the face, my knees are throbbing, my back hurts, right? Because that's hindering their life, right? We want them to
Mm.
come into the gym to help their life, not hinder it. If
Mm.
you're an athlete, like a legit pro athlete, semi-pro, got aspirations for that, then okay, fine. You're gonna have to walk around a bit beat up. That's just that's what you signed up for, pal. It's going to be a bit
But they
shit.
also don't have anything else on the remainder of that day. The job is now to recover,
Exactly.
not do a 9 to 5 after that.
Exactly. I remember this one time, Frankie. This was a few years ago. Completely able-bodied, but she was getting ready for her wedding, right? And her wedding was in like 8 weeks' time. We're doing some deadlifts. It was like build to like a 3 or something, some bullshit like that. And she gets 2, and I shout at her, saying no more. She was like, "It's 3." I was like, "I don't give a fuck. No more." I was like, "But I want one more." I was like, "Do you want to walk down the aisle?" And she just looked at me and was like, "Fair point." Like, that's it. We need
Yes,
to we
it's
need to realize,
purpose.
do not put your frigging spine on the line. Do
Yep.
not die for points, right? Like, we're here to just push it forward a little bit. We're here to help ourselves outside the gym. Like, there's different mentalities, and that's when, if you get an athlete, like an ex-athlete coming in, especially after an injury, right? And maybe they end up in a wheelchair, or they got a TBI, or something's gone on, right? And they come in and they're like, right, let's crush myself in the face again. You're like, dude, like, that's not the point at the moment. The point is to heal you,
Yep.
right? I'm not saying it's going to be some sort of like, you're going to get cured and everything's going to be magic. I was like, no, no, no. The point is, let's just look after yourself a little bit now. Yeah. All right. Let's just make sure you're healthy and happy. All right. Having a good time. And then when everything else is ticked, we can start to work on going for a sport if you wish. Let's
Yep.
try and like elongate that lifespan of an athlete, of a sports
Mhm.
person. You don't want to be that guy who's like, I used to bench 405. I was like, yeah, but you can no longer move, dude. No one gives
Yeah,
a fuck.
yeah, yeah. Now you need someone else to scratch your back, man.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Nobody cares, man. Cool story, bro. Piss off.
yeah,
Like, there's
that's
always
it.
a bigger fish. So how do we help these people, man? And yeah, it's kind of,
Mm.
I'm fizzing. Like, I think life is all about people. When you
Yep.
surround yourself with a good team, and that's like that how you've got a team with you under the flying Kiwi just fucking lights me up so much. Just you get a group of people that just give a fuck.
Mm,
All you gotta do is give a fuck about people, and everything else just starts falling into place.
mm.
And the only reason why I brought in that business kind of point earlier was like that's where a lot of people kind of focus on, right? And fine,
Yeah.
whatever, no problem, do your thing. You know,
Mm,
it is an aspect. We all do need to make money, but I do
mm.
believe within the fitness industry, you can make it to wherever you want to go without actually thinking about it. I do
Yes.
think
Yeah.
if you have that foundation of truly wholeheartedly giving a fuck, everything else will fall into place.
Mm. No, 100%.
Might take a
And
while.
oh yeah. Oh, it's not fast. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not quick. Um, no, we've so I had a great conversation with my team. Not this week, last week, and we're all kind of sitting around. So we have a team meeting 2:30 every Wednesday, and the two guys that help us out in the gym, so Nicola and Mikey, they come along, fantastic humans, love them both the bits. And we had a quick meeting. So hey, look, like we're looking at the idea of if we do expand even further than what we are, we might need someone else on the team. From your guys' perspective, what type of person do you think we need? I don't want you to tell me a person. I want you to tell me kind of what they're like. What would their traits be? What do you think would fit in well? What do you think is best? And we had a great conversation, just which basically boiled down to like we can teach the knowledge shit till the cows come home.
Yep.
We can't teach someone to give a fuck.
Yep.
You can't train give a fuck factor.
Yep.
You can't, man. Like you can have them emotionally invested in a particular athlete because they like them, but the natural give a fuck factor of pulling people together and knowing that regardless of what the mood is, what the outcome is, that it's not going to all just fall apart because they care. They will take that, hey, let's take 5 minutes and we're going to go play patty cake. We're going to go sit on a bike or, I want you to tell me about this, that, the other. We've got some guys with extreme social anxiety that come through now and intelligent young ones. I had one of the guys came in the very first catch up I had with him, didn't really talk much, didn't have too many friends, things like that. And he big gaming guy. So we talked about like World of Warcraft and we talked, I'm a big ass nerd. And we started talking about a bunch of stuff. And he kind of like brought down his walls and he kind of like started talking to me and things. And he brought up with me one of the very first time I met him, he goes, at what stage in AI evolution do you think we start giving artificial intelligence human rights if they become sentient? I'm like, bro, you're 16. What? What? This guy's in grade 10 at school. And I was like, holy shit, are you serious? Right? Now, the average coach, when sitting inside that session, understands, well, we've got to do X, Y, Z. We've got to be absolutely pumping them if we want them to lose weight, da, 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 da. What has been great with our guys is we all understand that if they get on that rant, they get on that talk, or we notice the avoidance to exercise on that day, going for more of a passive approach, but keeping the conversation going versus interrupting them every 2 minutes to make them do a set or whatever. The longevity, like you were talking before, the longevity of them actually going to the gym, the longevity of them as an athlete hugely changes.
Yep.
We
Agreed.
want that that positive connotation with it, right? So for some of those athletes, man, 100%, it's a give a fuck factor. You have to have the give a fuck factor. You have to know when you pick your battles. Where are you going to go? You didn't want her to do the third lift. There was no point. What was she going to get out of getting that third lift aside from for the next 5 minutes? Yeah, I got it. And then for the next 3 days being like, oh yeah, I got to sort back because I got that third deadlift. And like, how much was the deadlift? And she's like, I think it was this, because she doesn't even fucking remember. Because all she thinks about is the grind of the thing, not what it actually meant to her, and not how long that's gonna actually fucking matter. You know, like the give a fuck factor is so huge, and we're so lucky. The team is great. So we've got Nicola and Mikey that help us out inside the gym. They're both beautiful humans, and they're both so good with the athletes and the understanding of like when they come in. It's read the mood, read where they're at. Are they pumping? Are they not so pumping? Is it just a quick 5 minutes on the treadie and we gas bag about our pets, or we gas bag about what's coming up or what movie's happening, or to get them back in the mood, to get them going? Or is it going to be a day of like, hey man, we're going to lift a few weights today, but I'm excited to just see you have fun, right? You got to pick your battles. We talk about it like it's roughly 40 weeks out of the year, out of the 52 are probably going to be good sessions, and the remaining 12, that's like my rough average. I've kind of felt over time, right? And they all understand that, man. So yeah, Mikey and Nicola are great with that. And then we have Jacob. He helps me run the Strong Hearts program, and he's got the Monday and Thursdays. He comes along to both programs, and then we have Kira helps us run Monday, and Mikey from the gym comes to the Thursday. So we have 3 of us at each Strong Hearts. And you watch, like, for example, Jakey, big boy, trains hard, beard, plays League of Legends, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that sort of stuff, right? Big man, kid looks super intimidating, sometimes has a bad resting bitch face, right? And you see like little Christopher comes along, he's like, you're a door, there's a big bus outside, and blah, blah, blah. And Jacob just melts and just goes, what color was the bus, mate? It's not the human you would think it was, right?
Yeah.
And he's just got the biggest fucking heart of so many humans I know. And it's completely different. Bro, were there monkeys on the bus? And he's like, yeah, man. And what? And then he just runs away, right? And he's like, sweet. And then we get on with the game of dodgeball, right? But it's that is what I need. I don't need the dude that can yell and be like, right, everyone on the court, we're going to play dodgeball now, blah, blah, blah. I need someone who can do that. But we would prefer having someone who has such good rapport with everyone because of the big heart, because of the big give a fuck factor. We need that human that builds the rapport with everyone else, that when he goes, hey, can you guys jump on the court for me? They'll go, fuck yeah, Jacob, we can do that. That's the person we need. I don't need a drill instructor. We need people of influence to the athletes that they all look up to and go, I vibe with that, right? And you can't train vibe, man. You can't do that shit. It's so hard, and you give it. Like I was saying when we first started, dude, in like the first 2 minutes of talking to you, I was like, man, it's easy to talk. You give a very relaxed vibe, right? I can see why you do so well with the guys. You know what I mean? Like it's something that doesn't get trained, not very well anyway. And over long term, regardless of how much you've been trained in it, if you weren't good at it before, if you've been trained at it long term, the cracks start to show.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's such a big thing. It's the give a fuck factor. That's all we have. All we have as like Flying Kiwi. That's all we've got that helps us grow. That's it. I've tried running ads. Doesn't really work. We have plenty of other gyms around us that could, happily take on board our clientele, and they do, the special needs fitness thing too. But like long term, when people talk about us, all we want them to say is, yeah, man, they really give a fuck,
and that's the best
really
compliment you could ever receive. You really give a shit about people. You're like, man.
Yeah, dude. And people want to be involved, right? Our formal at the end of the year is so athlete centric and so built around the guys that we've got other organizations now that don't book stuff on the last weekend of November because they're like, oh, it's the Flying Kiwi thing. We'll probably be going. Like, it's so cool. Oh, man. We're about to run out of our minute.
That's all right, brother. I just want to say thank you.
Dude, thank you for having me.
Check out the Flying Kiwi.
So
I'm going to be over in Brizzy soon. You can bet your bottom dollar.
Sounds good, mate. Love you a long time. Thank you so much, man. Hopefully we'll do this again sometime soon.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it in person next time.
Big fella. Yeah, do it. Let's do it.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
man.
No
worries, mate.
Bye,
Cheers.
everybody.